You've protested alongside them. You've helped bring awareness to their causes, but what have they done in return to show their appreciation to you? We've often talked about the solidarity between the watermelon people and the black community, but why is the solidarity of the watermelon people for the black community less genuine? Let's just say that it's not authentic. Why is that? Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at some perspectives in history that have contributed to this notion. Like, it's a real thing. Like, you shouldn't even be surprised by this. This is who they are, and this is who they've always been all along. We always talk about palm colors conquering Africans and indigenous lands, and the hatred they must have had in order to do this. But we don't often shine a light on how Islam was spread. A social hierarchical structure where the enslaved will be regarded as a lower class was established. And that's what we're gonna look at in today's video, after looking at the perspectives that have emerged, and this sort of apology that this watermelon has for us in today's video. Let's get started.
To me, over the last 24 hours, is intergroup fighting is literally exactly what Zion and Trump supporters want. Intergroup fighting, be that between the black community and the Palestinian community, be that between Palestinian allies themselves, be that between Palestinian allies hating on other people for doing certain things, like voting for Kamala, is exactly what Zionist and Trump supporters want, and they love it, and this is going to ensure that Trump gets in office. And nobody wants that. Recently, a lot of pro-Palestinian allies have been harassing activists online who are voting for Kamala, and they're saying things like, if you're gonna vote for her, do not support Palestine. This is very counterproductive. Originally, I understood the sentiment because it can be very frustrating. However, you are just convincing more people to not support Palestine and making them not want to support Palestine. It's abundantly clear that majority of these people that are leaving slanderous comments on a lot of people's pages that are on the same side of them are not Palestinian at all. There is a lot of people co-opting this movement. Now, I've stated that personally, Kamala is not my favorite candidate. And personally, before I was saying that I would not vote for her. But I've said so many times, please vote for her if you want. Like, nobody has the right to tell you you can't vote for her. All I ask is that you continue to support Palestine. But these allies make it hard when you tell people you can't support Palestine and vote for Kamala. Everybody loses in that situation. If you came here for drama, you're not gonna get it. I apologize on live today to the creator that I hurt. Never in a million years did I intend for these things to happen or this conversation to arise, but I'm glad that it did because it showed, one, how quickly in-group fighting can happen, and two, I need to be more careful about who I make videos about, because I do get angry as a Palestinian about things about Palestine, but sometimes it can be harmful to other people. I don't want to say anything else about this. I just want to say, for everybody saying that I'm a hypocrite because I haven't supported Congo, Sudan, posted about Sonia Massey, things like that, it's all untrue. I've posted countless things about Congo and Sudan over on my Instagram. I'm Palestinian, so I do focus more on Palestine, but I would never purposely ignore the genocides, and I raise money for them and have actively raised quite a bit of money for Congo. And on the other hand, and Sudan actually, we did a fundraiser for Sudan. And on the other hand, I posted multiple videos about Sonia Massey on my page, if you just scroll down a bit. I just wanted to put that out there because I have spoken about those things quite a bit. So, I don't want to talk about this anymore. The other creator doesn't want to talk about it anymore. I publicly apologized on live. I never meant to hurt anyone. And I really hope that this doesn't cloud people against supporting Palestine, because that was never my goal. If anything, it was the opposite.
Created that false dichotomy after you attacked a black woman and called her a woman of color, instead of acknowledging who she actually is. Then it led to further attacks by Palestinians against a black woman, and we're not going to stand for that. Most average Democrats or average independents do not agree with giving Israel weapons to destroy Gazans. That's a fact. But at the same time, we know that Project 2025, which is by the Heritage Foundation under Donald Trump, would be detrimental to the history of reversing a lot of the progression here in the United States for both people of color, black and brown. So we have a right to look out for ourselves, and we can also still be concerned about everything that's going on in Gaza. Have a good day.
This doesn't apply to you. You threw a tantrum because someone said I will no longer speak about Palestine since y'all are telling me not to. Because I'm choosing to vote for the lesser of two evils in a political system where that's the only choice I have. I have to choose to make sure that the man and the party who has historically given my people and people that look somewhat like you the end of the stick for decades. And because of an issue that applies to you threw a temper tantrum. Because let's be honest, if you weren't Palestinian, you wouldn't care. You don't care about the struggles of any other group of people other than your own. So you basically could just be a random white girl out here and you'd be fine with life. And somebody's probably saying, well, how do you get to that? That's a wild assumption to make. Here's how you get to if you go to a person's page, and we'll say Maya in this situation, and you look and you see one issue that they have a problem with, and in her case, it's only been the Palestinian genocide. Every other video, come get ready with me while I go out. Come to the beach with me. Come get Starbucks with me. You got nothing that talks about the black people that have been by police. You have nothing about the genocide in the Congo and Sudan. You have nothing about LGBTQ rights and issues. It's either come have a Western day out with me or support the people of Palestine, which you do a terrible job of that too, by the way. There are a lot of y'all Palestinian supporters who are upset that people are deciding to just go ahead and vote for Kamala only because it's going to get you clicks and views.
How did I know this was going to happen? How did I know this was going to happen? Because anti-blackness is always when we black people do not stand up with people, they will turn around and get angry with us. Your ignorance and all the ignorance of everyone that ever said something against some black people, us black women, I couldn't give two fucks. The reality is that the reason white supremacy and Zionism is going on is because they got us held up in our own different sections of the world, suffering. And you don't give a damn about black suffering. All of you Palestinians and supporters of Palestine, you woke up today and realized that white supremacy and Zionism have been controlling us, and you're going to say, well, this is what the Zionists and white supremacists do. Yeah, so why are you participating in the hate? We want freedom in America, and honestly, right now, Kamala is it. You think I want to vote for goddamn Trump? His decrepit ass. You don't give a shit about us because Kamala cannot undo white supremacy by her goddamn self. None of us can. The point is we all supposed to do it together. But y'all want black women whenever the f*** y'all want to. That's why we are a threat to white supremacy. Because we are fighters. We will fight till our last breath. I will fight to my last breath for my children and my people. I'll be damned who don't support me or ride with me. Most of you Arabs don't even want to repost any of my much less uplift our content. We black people are being massacred in this country as well. A black woman died because she said sorry and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. She saw the demon within him. That's why she said it. But she couldn't stop her death. Because these SOBs hire evil people to go and hurt us. They've been joining with the IDF to learn how to hurt us more and worse than what they do now. And your decrepit young ass man, go look up how hard it is to be a black woman right now. From a little girl, I know y'all been going through all types of bull, but my people too. You think you give a damn? No. The world is anti-black woman, using the same rhetoric that white supremacists made for us. The angry black woman, of you that take that trope and stick it in your asshole. We fighting for the goddamn world, but y'all not fighting for us. It takes all of us, motherfuckers, to stand up to white supremacy and Zionism. If you don't understand that, then suck my ass.
Okay, so I did a bad thing tonight. I actually fell down a rabbit hole on TikTok, and this is why I am still here late at night making a video. And I want to talk about it because there are a lot of pro-Palestine advocates on this app who are going after black women who are saying that they're going to vote and that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. I talked about this in the last video, but I'm talking about it again because it's worse than I thought. There's actually this thread of anti-blackness that I was not paying attention to in the advocacy of the Palestinian cause. And a lot of these videos that are attacking, and just like when I say attack, I don't want to be too dramatic about the words, but you have bigger creators with millions of followers who are going after small folks on this app who are just having their say. It's like a democracy, and they are inundating those black women with comments from people who are just saying the most raggedy shit about them. So here's a few problems. There's a lot of problems with this, but here's a few. The first one is there's this presumption that black people fighting for our rights are taking up too much space. We're like a legacy minority at the top of a minority totem pole. And because we are assumed to be a legacy minority at the top of the totem pole, we're also assumed to be crowding out other issues, which makes people annoyed with us. And they don't get to say that they're annoyed because they know that that's race and it's anti-black, but they are. And the way that they talk to us and about us and at us, I think is evidence of that. They're saying things like, us asserting our black identity as a reason for finding power in the vote because it's part of our ancestry. It's what we have used over 400 years to get some modicum of success, even though we're not where we want to be. They're saying that is actually when we bring that up, it's like the oppression Olympics, is what they say. I hate that term because we're not trying to be in the oppression Olympics because that would mean that we're still oppressed. And actually, we're trying to not qualify to be in the oppression Olympics. We're trying to be free. And we're running our own race. Our race is not against your race at all, but you don't get to get in front of us and tell us that if we're not down sufficiently with your cause, that we're just bad people, which is a lot of what I heard tonight in some of those TikToks. Another thing that bothers me is because there are so many non-black people who are doing this to us, people with a little bit too much book learning and a whole bunch of earrings and crazy hair colors, that group of people are saying things like identity politics, like you guys are just playing identity politics, and that has become their new weapon. When they are tired of black people and they want to say the N-word, they say identity politics, because here's the definition. Newsflash, here's the definition of identity politics. Identity politics is when someone else asserts their identity that you don't like. Because all politics are related to some identity or another. You're a Christian, you're a rural person, you're white, you're a suburbanite, whatever. So saying identity politics is like saying politics, because all politics are local and all politics are based in some form of identity. But see, what that magic weaponized phrase, identity politics, does for them is it sets them up in this post-racial, socialist, superior status, this place where they have license to now talk to you as black people in ways that they would be called racist if they talk to you without that moral superiority of the issue and the cause that's driving them to talk to you.
Okay, I know Watermelon says they started off with a sort of apology, so we're not going to ignore that for a moment. But you tell me whether you think that apology is valid, because I don't think it was like a sort of apology. But first of all, she explained herself and why she said everything that she said. Then she sort of apologized. But let's look at some perspectives on cultures that have this social hierarchical structure based on color. We're going to start with the Indian heritage, and after that we're going to go to the Arabs. So skin color has often been linked in social status in India for centuries. In traditional Indian society, lighter skin has often been associated with higher status and privilege, while darker skin tones have sometimes been linked to lower social positions. This is partly a legacy of ancient texts and practices that idealized fair skin as a mark of beauty beauty and purity. And don't get me started when palm colors said that because of their light skin, God ordained them to rule over blacks. Now, the British colonial period reinforced these skin color biases through their own racial hierarchies, which often mirrored and exacerbated existing prejudices. Now, the colonial administration in British literature frequently portrayed lighter-skinned individuals in more favorable light. In contemporary India, these biases continue to affect various aspects of life, including marriage, employment, and media representation. Fairness creams and skin lightening products are highly marketed, reflecting and perpetuating the value placed on lighter skin. Now, in case you didn't know, this is a history and an ongoing social structure of India. The last aspect I have for India is that this hierarchical structure is relevant to Indian culture because it intersects with broader and social norms and values. Let's just say that they are fine with it. It's their culture. Skin color and discrimination often reflects deeper societal issues, including the persistence of caste-based inequalities and the influence of historical and colonial legacies. Now, why is it important for us to highlight this? I don't just want us to talk about the watermelon people here. I want you to see that this social construct of idealizing palm coloredness is all over the world, and it has led to the anti-blackness that we're seeing. So I don't want you to be surprised after what you're gonna hear about the watermelon people. So in many Arab societies, skin tone has also been a factor in social hierarchies, although this varies widely across the region and is influenced by historical, cultural, and social dynamics. So historically speaking, lighter skin has been prized in Arab societies, often associated with higher social status and mobility. This preference has roots in pre-Islamic Arab culture, where lighter skin was sometimes seen as a matter of beauty and refinement. Now, why is this important? I want you to see that it's from this lighter skinness and cherishing it that led to the Islamic rule and the subjugation of slavery over the black people. The trans-Saharan and trans-Arabian slave trades involved the movement of people across diverse regions, which sometimes reinforced social hierarchies based on skin color. Those with lighter skin were often placed in higher social positions compared to those with darker skin. Now, the other thing is that in contemporary Arab societies, there can be a preference of lighter skin. Just put it that way. So influenced by media, beauty standards, and cosmetic products. And in another video, we saw those Arab brothers talking about how black hair is bad, and they categorized it in 4C hair. And they were saying that it's bad. Even when you try to apply water to it, it doesn't appear wet. So it's the worst kind of hair to have. So if you're a black person and you have this, you should feel bad about yourself. This is how anti-blackness has been further exacerbated by what we're talking about. Now, this preference can affect social interactions, marriage prospects, and employment opportunities. So if you're in Arabia and you have a darker skin tone, it can affect that, right? So skin color hierarchies in Arab societies are intertwined with broader social and cultural norms. They reflect historical attitudes and external influences, including colonial legacies. Now, these biases are embedded in cultural practices and can shape social expectations and behaviors. In summary, I just want you to see that it's very, very hard for you when you come from a society that looks down on the kind of people, but now you have to look at them as equals and support their causes, right? When you come from a society that uses those said people as laborers, as the people that clear the farms, as the people that clean your house, and now you have to be in solidarity with them and support them and regard them as equals as well. It's very, very hard for you. So I'm just highlighting that fact for you, and I want you to think about that for a moment. So I think that's the reason why for Watermelon says it's very hard for her to just even give us a clear apology, even though she's kind of given us an apology, but she wasn't quite there yet. Yeah, and that is the reason why a lot of people are not even accepting that kind of apology, because it stems from a bias sort of way. You know, from a lifestyle that doesn't consider you, in the society that doesn't look at you as an equal, but as a supporter for their causes. Right. So with that being said, I would like you to leave your thoughts in the comment section and tell me what you think about today's discussion. And please note, I highlighted the Indian way of life because they are more open about their anti-blackness towards their black fellow people, right? While the watermelon people, they are more closed when it comes to those conversations. I'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Signing off, and take care.